Okay, so for this deep dive, we're going somewhere totally different.
Oh.
Yeah, we're looking at this magical winery.
Okay.
It's in the Emerald Whisper Forest.
Sounds fancy.
Right. It's called Peacock Vines Estate.
Interesting.
And it's got like all these amazing details like carved tree doorways, and they even used acorn cups for wine glasses.
Wow, that's pretty creative.
I know, and the sommeliers are peacocks.
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 I've never heard of that before.
Me neither, but I mean, it makes sense in a way, right? Peacocks are so elegant.
Yeah, I guess if any bird was going to be a sommelier, it would be a peacock.
Exactly, and so this deep dive is all about the grand tasting event at Peacock Vines Estate.
That sounds fun.
It does, right? It's going to be wild.
So tell me more about this winery.
Well, like I said, it's super unique with the whole Peacock Sommelier thing, and they have this signature wine called Elderberry Whisper.
Elderberry Whisper.
Yeah, it's supposed to be amazing.
I bet. What's it like?
Well, apparently Lord Sylvester, who I guess is the owner, presents it with like a big flourish, and everyone talks about its bold body.
Bold body?
Yeah, and you know what the secret ingredient is? Firefly nectar.
Firefly nectar.
I know. Crazy, right?
Yeah, so you mentioned bold body. Can you explain what that means?
I actually have no idea.
Well, when we talk about a wine having a bold body, we're talking about how it feels in your mouth, like its weight and its texture.
Oh, okay.
A bold-bodied wine will feel fuller and richer than a light-bodied one, and it often means it has a higher alcohol content.
Interesting. So like a Cabernet Sauvignon would be considered bold body.
Exactly. Cabernet Sauvignon, Zinfandel, Syrah, those are all good examples of bold-bodied wines.
Got it. And it sounds like even the guests at this magical winery know their stuff, because I read that Sir Henry the Hedgehog even comments on the bold body of the Elderberry Whisper.
Sir Henry the Hedgehog.
Yeah, a hedgehog wine connoisseur.
Wow, everyone's a critic.
Even hedgehogs, apparently.
I guess so, but firefly nectar, that's not exactly a traditional wine ingredient.
No, definitely not something you'd find in your average bottle.
What do you think the writer's trying to achieve with that?
Well, it's definitely magical and whimsical.
For sure, it adds a touch of fantasy.
Right, and I think it also speaks to the power of storytelling, even in the context of something as traditional as winemaking.
Yeah, I mean, in the real world, we see wineries trying to create unique experiences too, whether it's through experimenting with unusual grape varietals, or using special aging processes, or even incorporating local ingredients like honey or fruit.
Right, it's all about creating a memorable experience that goes beyond just the taste.
Exactly, and that's what the Firefly Nectar does. It elevates the experience, it adds a layer of intrigue and mystery.
It makes you wonder what a Firefly Nectar wine would actually taste like.
Maybe a little sweet and sparkly.
Ooh, maybe. But anyway, let's talk about the guests at this tasting event, because there are some real characters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like there's Sir Henry the Hedgehog, who we already mentioned with his critical sniffing.
Of course.
Then there's Madame Tilly the Tortoise, who takes her time to savor every sip.
Oh, I love that.
And then you have Baxter the Bear, who just wants to gulp it all down.
Classic Baxter.
It's like the writer took common wine-drinking personalities and gave them these fun animal counterparts.
Yeah, totally. You've got the discerning critic, the leisurely sipper, and the enthusiastic consumer who appreciates quantity over nuance.
And, you know, wineries in the real world, they definitely recognize these different demographics and cater to them through their marketing and branding.
Oh, absolutely. They know their audience.
And speaking of different personalities, you can't forget the Fox brothers.
What did they do?
They're always trying to sneak extra glasses of wine.
Oh no, those sneaky foxes.
Luckily, Daisy the Owl is there to keep things in order.
Daisy the Owl?
Yeah, she's the bouncer.
Wait, so even this magical winery needs a bouncer?
Apparently so. I guess even in a fantasy world, you still need someone to make sure everyone's drinking responsibly.
That's true. It adds a touch of realism to the whole thing.
Right, and it's amazing how the writer blends these fantastical elements with relatable situations.
Agreed. The whole scene just sounds so vibrant and alive.
Totally. The laughter echoing through the moonlit forest, the acorn cups clinking, and those peacock feathers glowing in the darkness. You can almost feel the joyful atmosphere.
It's like you're right there with them.
And it makes you wonder, what if real-world wineries took inspiration from this story?
What do you mean?
Like, what if they incorporated elements of whimsy and storytelling into their tasting experiences?
That's a cool idea.
Right. Imagine themed events, unique locations, interactive elements, all designed to create a truly unforgettable experience.
It would definitely elevate the whole wine tasting experience.
Exactly. And maybe that's something for wineries to think about. How can they add a touch of magic to their offerings?
It's a great question to consider, and it certainly gives us all something to ponder as we enjoy our next glass of wine.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.